Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You're listening in to Laudation Sports. We talk sports, Cowboys, and beyond. That's including news and information that can hit beyond the ice wall. The name is Laudation. Be sure, and I mean just that, be sure to smash upon the like button. Let's get it. Spartans, prepare for glory. Yup. Let me know if the audio's straight. Riggs! We're getting too old for this, Riggs. When is gonna be all time?
All I ask is when you blink at it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on. Hey. Ho. Let me play that Riggs one more time, baby. Let me play that Riggs. Riggs! Riggs! Where you at, Riggs? Jerry, John, Stephen Jones, John Jr., or Stephen Jones Jr., Jerry Jr., all of them. Charlotte, Anderson. Where you at? Riggs! Notification squad in the house. Come on. What's good with y'all, man? Audio straight this time. Everybody good? No lags, no freezing of the frames. Oh, the season is over with now, so we can talk, right? No freezing of the frames, man. Yes, indeed. Shout out to you, Ryan. He said, me and Boss had you laughing last night, crying. Yeah. Man, I try, man. I try so hard, man. Appreciate all of you all. Salute to my guy, Ray Podcast. We did an episode. We did that particular episode last week, and it was just uploaded today. And I thought to share some of that, or most of it, or all of it to you guys. So let me know if you got a chance to check that out. Ray's podcast, you know, and it was me, Raya, and as well as my guy, you already know, Mr. Fourth and Long himself, Jesse Holly, and then we had DeRoe in the house, man. So we did a great deal, man. We had one of the interns to shoot most of the video footages. So those are things that we are doing. We creating a super team, and y'all look out. It's going to be crazy. I appreciate y'all so much. So bear with them and bear with us and bear with the audio, the time of the uploads, and it's different because I'm like, man, see that red button? Hit that red button, you know, hit the live. Let's go live, man, like 95 up in this thing. And if we mess up, hey, the audience know ain't nobody perfect but the Lord, and we'll mess up and keep it moving. But, you know, not everybody have the ability to go live. Not everybody been through the ups and downs, and everybody, you know, are not used to talking in front of cameras and microphones all in the face and stumbling over your words and stuff like that. So that's just how that goes. Law, guess what? Bill Belichick is going to the Commanders. Ooh, he better not. Oh, please don't do that. Don't do that, Bill. Don't do it, Bill. Don't be a thorn in our side. Don't do that. Shout out to you, William. Thank you for becoming a sponsor, too. So today's episode is the Cowboys shouldn't be in the fear of failure. You know, a lot of people have great dreams. A lot of people have great thoughts. A lot of people have great capabilities. But that fear, boy, it will shut you down. It will literally knock you off of your horse. It will literally make you like Billy Pistols that's in the chat, you know, that will come here to say another 3 hours of excuses. But he watched every 3 hours. Because Billy, somewhere in his heart, he wished he was Law Nation. He wished he was one of us. But no, Billy is sitting at his mama Nim's house somewhere on the couch watching us, right? Seeing where we're going to fall, seeing where we're going to slip up. But that's okay, Billy. You paying us to watch. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to click on those ads, and then you got to comment back and forth. So we need the Billies of the world that's in the chat. We need you, dog. So keep talking. Keep talking and keep commenting because we need you, dog. It's the off season. And if this helped Billy cope with life and his life choices, then let him cope. Let him be here. Ain't that right, Billy? You know around, Billy. You know, Billy. Mama, can I go watch Law? That's not Daddy there, man. That's my only time that I get a chance to see Daddy on TV. All right, come on. Let's go. Shout out to you, Tyson. But no offense to you, Billy. I'm just picking at you, man. You're a good dude, man. Tell Mom I said hi. But all right, so neither here nor there. The Dallas Cowboys can't be in fear. The Dallas Cowboys can't be in fear. When you are close, you got to just rip the Band-Aid off and jump right into it. And on top of that, we got a super chat. He said, JD from D.C. says, dang it, I wish Joe Barry, Green Bay defensive coordinator, would have been fired before the Cowboys game. Hey, shit. Riggs, I can't take this no more. Yeah, Joe Barry was fired by Green Bay, and here's my thoughts on him. I'm not saying that the Cowboys should hire him. No. I'm not saying that, not at all. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is just bring him in, interrogate the brother, investigate everything that he know that we didn't know, and see what he was able to do to look like the 2000 Ravens in the second quarter. And he just didn't do that to us. Did you see what he was able to do to the 49ers? I'll bring him in just for that off of GP and say, all right, cool. I want to bring you in, Joe Barry, just to see how were you able to slow down the 49ers, right? Because technically the 49ers would have been on the couch just like us and Billy. Me, Billy, and everybody else, they would have been on the couch if the kicker just knew how to make the kicks. Ain't that right, Billy? They would have been sitting on the couch right with us. But, they kicker miss kicks and, they get a chance to get the extra life,
Not the one who made the rules, right? Do it, left, do it, right, do it, left, do it, right.
That's just what it is. Ain't it right, Billy? But I want to talk about this right here, and it's from 105.3 The Fan. Appreciate those boys. We don't like what they do. We love what they do. They do a great job, and I think that they do move the conversational piece around, and those are things that we all take heed to. Ain't this right, Billy? We take heed to that, and we try to make sure. We try to make sure that everything that we can see can work out. And let's see what they have to say here. Appreciate you.
If they were to just say, play. I think that they are very scarred in that building by what happened from 2000 to 2006. And I think they know if they were to just say, play it out. Just go ahead and play it out. And we won't have the ability to tag you at the end. I think they know they'd be playing a really dangerous game.
They would be. But everybody talks about trying something different. We always do try something different around here. How about you try something different? You haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round since the 80s.
That's fine.
How about you try something different?
But when we're sitting here potentially covering, you have to be okay with Chop yourself too. Just from the perspective, let's talk about professionally just sitting here in this studio. You have to be okay with potentially putting yourself in the purgatory of being the 4-13 Commanders every year for the next 3 years.
Being the 4-13 Commanders is a great thing because you got the second overall pick, and that gives you the 8.
I gotta tell him, man, where my button at, man? Ain't nobody trying to be like the Commanders. Here it is right here.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
Hey, I get it. Y'all on radio, but, man, don't be like that on radio. No, don't. None of us saying, hey, man, instead of being 12-5, I would rather be the Giants and the Washington team. Let's be like the Commanders so we can at least have good, higher draft picks. No. Let me play that button one more time.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
That's Billy thinking, man. No, man, we don't want to be thinking like Billy. But let me leave Billy alone. But no, man. Yeah. Somebody said lean forward just a little
William
bit.
Hauser, $10.
Yeah.
Hey Law. Love hashtag Law Nation. Glad to be back with Law Nation.
There you
Glada
go.
ask what your opinions on Bill Belichick taking a year off and coming to Dallas after more last year in contract?
No, I don't. The football world is a fast-paced world, and Wade, I appreciate you for pausing the show with the super chat, because when you take a year off, man, it's like taking 5 years off in the NFL world. The rule changes every year, player evaluation changes, players changes, the speed, the tempo of the game, and Bill Belichick is already long in the tooth. But that is a good idea, though. Bring him back after taking a year off. That's a good idea. But unless he still got his hands involved in some type of capacity of NFL, then the answer for me would be no. But if he's coming in as an advisor piece, or if he's coming in to still help this team out in that fashion, then yeah, I mean, you can't turn down wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the game. And even if Jimmy Johnson, instead of him being in the TV booth in the playoff game, we as Cowboy fans was like, hey, can you bring him down? You know what I'm saying? To just be on the sidelines walking, My coach back in the day used to have a bullhorn, Who remember that? And we used to run cross country, and all you can hear him saying is run, and just the presence of him saying run made you run even faster and harder because of his presence on the sideline or even at the games. Those things count. And I'm not saying that Bill Belichick is, because he's more of he's not a boisterous guy, but we know he's a no-nonsense guy. I think that will be a situation. The official DC band says, "Law, a new quarterback don't means 4-13 record." You're right right now. Yeah. Then Sampson, appreciate you. I believe your theory that the Cowboys will promote from within. As far as DC, nobody's coming here for a potential one-year deal. Yes, and that theory, shout out to Jesse, because Jesse kind of laid it out when we was at that podcast studio. He was basically saying that these guys are, most jobs are a full year, but coaching jobs are not. They are anywhere between, 7 to maybe 8 months. And you talking about uprooting your family and doing all of that, and then you got mama and them, and you got the kids, you got to see what school they gonna go to, you gotta understand the area, where side of town you gonna stay on or stay in, and there's a whole bunch of nuances that goes with that. So yeah, the Cowboys might just hire from within, and I get it. It could be a loser's mentality, like my guy Corey said in the chat. Zach Luna says extend Dak, Micah, CD, re-sign Gilly, let Pollard walk, sign Saquon, and King. Now, come on, man, that cheat code talk, man. You cheat code talking, bro. Don't be cheat code talking. You got Henry and Saquon. Come on, man. Let your stars, you know what I'm saying? T. Diggs, Demo, which is DeMarvion, get healthy, and more LB depth. Right, and still draft a linebacker. Yep, best player available, BPA. Let Mozzie develop, Super Bowl with the big question mark. Hey, Zach, if that happened, Zach, You'll pay to go back out there to Oxnard, won't you, Zach? If that happens, Zach, you'll be back out there to Oxnard. You'll pay the $250, right? You will pay the $250. Let me know, Zach. Let me know. Would you pay the $250? You'll pay the $250 for the VIP daily pass. You got to pay $250. You'll pay that. Yeah, if that happened, right? You will say, "Hey, man, I'm mad at the Cowboys how they finished last year, but this year shows me that they going all in. They ain't afraid, man. They going all in, man. Come on, man. DC for life, man. Dak I trust, Mike McCarthy I trust, and maybe Joe Witt Jr. or whoever, that would probably work. Let me finish this one out. Let me rewind just a little bit.
With Chop yourself too, like just from the perspective, let's talk about professionally just sitting here in this studio. You have to be okay with potentially putting yourself in the purgatory of being the 4-13 Commanders every year for the next 3 years.
Being the 4-13 Commanders is a great thing because you got the second overall pick, and that gives you the H word, HOPE, 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 hope. Now, I'm not saying... Listen,
I agree. I would say if there's anything that Commanders fans have had for a decade, it's been hope. They're so
30
optimistic.
Years.
It's like, look at all the options we have. How great is this not to have a quarterback?
But I agree, but I'm not even saying do it now. Like, you could still draft a quarterback in the first round this year like the Packers did.
Yeah. Sure. You could do that. You could draft a quarterback in the first round if you want. You're going to...
The difference is, and shout out to those boys, I do like the philosophy. If you kind of wishy-washy with your quarterback, if you don't fully trust your quarterback, then draft a quarterback every year. Just keep shooting the shot and seeing what can stick, or keep looking for a quarterback. Always looking. But there is a calculated movement that the Green Bay did as far as the 3 quarterbacks that they got, right? Brett Favre, right? Who wasn't originally from Green Bay. I think he was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, if my memory served me correct. But they moved the needle. They went and got Brett Favre. And then from Brett Favre, they had the option to go get an Aaron, Rodgers, who was considered a early first-round draft pick, but he was sitting in the green room all the way up into the late 20s or something like that, and they scooped him up. Matter of fact, the Cowboys passed on Aaron Rodgers because we already had our quarterback. We had Tony Romo, and the history repeats itself. So I'm not saying that Jordan Love can walk on water, but those are ways that the Green Bay Packers did it, calculated risk. And in between those time frames of quarterbacks, they had a guy, Matt Flint or something like that, who went 11-5 as a starter, or some type of above 500 as a starter. And they said, okay, what we're going to do is package him, ship him off to Seattle land to be a number 1 quarterback there. And he fooled around to go to Seattle land, and the coach there was like, nah, we're going to let you compete. We don't care if we gave you $10 million or $15 million at that time frame. And at that time, that was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money, by the way. Somebody pay me $10 million, I'd probably disappear for a year. I'm just playing. But I would say this. He went there, and they shipped him off, and they got something back in return. The thing is, the Cowboys, we can't do those type of things. We can't. Because the moment we draft a quarterback in the first round, hey, man, put that quarterback in. He's better. And then it'll be that whole cycle of, hey, can't wait for that quarterback to get in there, And they don't have the patience to groom and develop and to absolutely wait for that backup quarterback who was drafted early to play. Law, do you have any truth to that? Yeah. What's the truth? I'm old enough to remember when we drafted Benjamin Anthony DiNucci, there was a third of the people saying, hey, put him in there, man. He's better. Put Benjamin DiNucci. Any quarterback can do what Dak does. Benjamin got his opportunity, and he didn't really stay long, right? I remember people when we went and got Andy Dalton. I like Andy Dalton. He can read the defense. He can read. I'm saying, like, wait a minute. So the other quarterback can't read nor write? Yes, he can't read nor write. So I'm still waiting on Andy Dalton to do some crazy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. All of those Andy Dalton fans, they somehow disappeared. They don't even comment anymore. They done changed their username. They done changed their names, their logos, and everything. So it's just what it is. And now we seeing some of it with Cooper Rush and Trey Lance too, right? And there are a gang of people that will say, hey, man, you give Cooper Rush a full year, and he will go literally 15-1. He will only lose one game. He'll win every game, y'all, because that's Cooper Rush. He only lost one game, and it was because of somebody else's fault or something like that. So that's just where we at. And then right now, Trey Lance is the other guy. So it's just what it is. Cooper Rush more even play caller. Yeah. So I don't think that we would have that longitude and latitude, ladies and gentlemen, is what I'm trying to say, to develop a quarterback without the quarterback controversy. And on top of that, hear me out. And on top of that, the craziest thing of it all is this right here. They did it to Troy Aikman. They did it to Roger Staubach. You know what I'm saying? They did it to Danny White. So it ain't just Dak Prescott, y'all. And they did it to Tony Romo. Let John Kitna start. Man, look what John Kitna doing. He takes a better command of the team, And then put the other dude in. I forgot his name. I forgot that dude's name. But then they realized that he wasn't good at all. The dude that we picked up from. Oh, yeah. Put Kyle Orton in. Y'all remember that? I remember it. Put Kyle Orton in, man. Ooh, man, Kyle Orton, man, sure. He ain't gonna throw no picks and stuff like that. And I was like, nah, man, nah. And then when they saw Kyle Orton, oh my goodness, they were like, them Kyle Orton fans, they just
you're not gonna get one of the top ones where.
Well, why can Green Bay do it and we can't?
Because
they've shown us a proven model. They've been a contender. It's not like they've been a scrub, and this has been their formula and model, and it's worked for them.
Sure, Aaron Rodgers was the guy who was thought to go in the top 2. He had what is considered one of the more historic slides. So, I mean, that was fortunate. I don't think that was something like, this was our plan all along, wait to 24 and grab him. And then Jordan Love, similarly, not slid that far, but he slid further than they had anticipated. Both times it was they took advantage of a slide.
Yeah, but Jordan Love's was not to Aaron Rodgers' degree.
But it was not. Yes,
he was drafted where? What pick?
24,
something like that.
So the Cowboys are at 24.
So let's just say.
So Jordan Love will be there.
Let's say.
I'm just saying. You
No,
can't.
I know.
You can crap on it all you want. The Packers formula has worked out for them. So like I know you're against it because it's your boy here playing quarterback, but. It's it's an intriguing question.
And let's say
even though you'd have Trey Lance and a drafted quarterback.
Let's say you get to let's say Jaden Daniels drops to the mid-teens and you move up for him.
Ugh.
I'm just saying.
I know. I get it.
Yeah, man, I love these works right there, ladies and gentlemen. I would say this: your best option, and this is just my thoughts, is the final year of your contract with Dak Prescott. You play that. You just play that through. Just play that through. And here's the good thing. It's a good thing and bad thing. For those who's really just out on Dak, if he gives you the same year that he gave you this year, right? He give you the same year, then you can literally say, well, damn. This dude gave us this type of year and he had the same outcome. I'm glad that he's no longer on this team. So what you got to have now is for Dak Prescott to literally do better than what he did last season. And I think that's a whole strong case for this dude to stay, right? For him to do better than what he did last year in order for the stay. Now, if he do worse than what he did last season, with basically this season, then he's gone. Look at that. Now, ain't that something, you know? So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, man, that's a tall task, man. You can't ask for any quarterback in the National Football League to run what he did this year and to say, hey, do it again, and if we'll keep you if you do it again or better, right? So that's just where it's at. Ain't that crazy? Ooh-wee. So you got to have the exact same year or better, because if you have a worse year than you had this year, then you won't get your extension. We roll the dice on Cooper Rush and see if Cooper Rush can give us this type of year, or Trey Lance can see Trey Lance give us this type of year. And if that happens, don't y'all know the odds of that is just really slim? But people love to play the odds, and they will lean on that. But what I'm saying here is that this year can be better if the Cowboys just make these two moves. Bring in better linebackers, bring in a run game. And my guy, Zach, already put out there, let's go get King Henry and Saquon. We have the money to do such. Cali Cowboy, appreciate you. Law, it's time for content creators and fans to go all in on exposing the negligence Cowboys front office. They are feeding us a diet of bull sugar. Yeah, we can go in, man. A lot of times people think that all voices don't matter, but Jerry Jones said it himself, that when they put DeMarcus Ware in the Ring of Honor, so many people with the outcry of, hey, Jimmy Johnson belongs in there, man. You got to put Jimmy in there. Those were the voices. People fail to realize one bug hit your windshield, hey, you wipe it off, you use a little sprayer thing. But a multitude of bugs hit that windshield, yeah, we might be ugly, we may be looked down upon as content creators or the low bottoms of the fans. But let enough bugs hit that windshield, he gonna stop this vehicle and get out, and he gonna have to do something about it. And that's what we've been doing. We've been hitting that windshield, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, 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 boom. And now he had to stop his vehicle. Let me put Jimmy in there, because he didn't want Jimmy in there. Look, listen to this.
And at a table, and Jimmy was at the head and presiding. Much alcohol has been consumed.
All this over a 2-point conversion? Hardly. All this because Cowboys coach Jimmy Johnson abruptly left the owners' meetings. Johnson told the Dallas Morning News he was reassessing his future with the Cowboys, following comments Jones made late Monday night suggesting he might fire his coach.
The night before, on an off the record, I basically, which is something that I do quite often, toss a lot of things around, and that was one of them, but that wasn't given any serious consideration on my part.
Does that mean that you're going to lie? And besides, off the record, there were men and women around that were not reporters.
Did y'all hear what he said? It's way back. I jumped in the time machine. He said there were many around that were not reporters. that was the new media when we was not new media. It was just something else, you know. That was before the content creators. Let me rewind so y'all can get it. Y'all can catch it.
There were men and women around that were not reporters. And how did they take off the record? The reason I came to the Cowboys is I wanted to be able to control personnel.
What may have gotten Johnson's craw was that Jones even mentioned a possible successor, Barry Switzer, a rival from Jimmy's college days at Oklahoma State.
I read where all of that is taking place.
So, I'm going to go all the way back. Prehistoric law, man, you know what I'm saying? I still had facial hair during this time, by the way. Believe it or not. Look. Here's what he said, and we're going to play it one more time. Let me turn up the audio a little bit, you know. And he said he wanted, what did Jimmy wanted, y'all? What did Jimmy say that he wanted? And y'all put the answer down in the chat. What did Jimmy say that he wanted?
And besides, off the record, there were men and women around that were not reporters. And how did they take off the record? The reason I came to the Cowboys is I wanted to be able to control personnel.
What may have gotten Johnson's craw was that Jones even mentioned a possible successor, Barry Switzer.
My guy Chris Buman, he used to have his lift when he talked, man. But shout out to Chris Buman, man. I think he's dynamite. But what did he want it? Okay, player control, control personnel. Yes, indeed. Tex Schramm, prehistoric law. Yeah, yes, indeed. Jimmy wanted player control. What are we talking about now, y'all? What are we talking about, man? We talking about player control. And that is the argument. That is the fight, man. That is the good fight that we've been having. Now, my guy Brian Broaddus, man, you know, he's been able to decipher a lot of stuff, and he says that, hey, right now, Jerry is not running this team. John Steven is running this team. And let's play this. This from last night, man. Appreciate y'all.
Pulling an Al Davis and really running the team at 81 years old, I could see arguments here. But I do believe it's Steven. This is Steven Jones's team right now. And if Jerry's number one fault is handing it off to somebody that's ultra conservative that way, then go ahead and blame him. But
it's like an Adam Sandler movie.
But right now, I think the blame's going the wrong direction here myself.
So it needs to be Steven. Steven needs to be in the blame.
I think when you start to talk about when they don't want to change. They don't want Bill Belichick walking in here or Jim Harbaugh walking in here and saying, we need to do this differently personnel-wise. I don't like the way we're doing this personnel-wise. I don't like this. They don't want that. They don't want that. It's easy for them now. Mike's not going to get in their way about personnel. Mike's not going to get in their way and say, oh, well, like I.
Did y'all hear that word again? Ooh, baby, baby. Did y'all hear that word again? Did y'all hear that personnel word again? Did y'all hear the word? Look, man, I had to jump and put in a cassette tape to show y'all that other part. And put in a cassette tape to show y'all, man, what Jimmy was fighting over right now. And then now y'all get a chance to see what is going on with what they're fighting with now. Man, let me rewind. See, let me know if y'all heard that word personnel again, fighting over control.
Now, Mike's not going to get in their way about personnel. Mike's not going to get in their way and say, oh, well, like I want him to go in there and say, hey, we need to do something different here. He's not. He's not going to do it different. It's totally comfortable for the way that these guys operate now.
It is.
They don't have anybody questioning their personnel moves. They get to draft. They get to sign players, their own players. They don't do things that the guy in Philadelphia does or people who are fighting for their jobs.
He cooking.
That's what this football team is.
Yeah.
They've handed it off from a guy who used to do crazy-ass things. And I was part of the crazy-ass things he did.
Heck yeah, you were.
You know what?
You
The
were a
crazy-ass...
bad mofo.
I almost said that. The crazy-ass stuff will get you fired.
Yeah.
But he handed it off. And that's where we are now. That's where we are with this football team. They don't want to change because they could operate in the way that they're comfortable operating. That's the whole. That's the problem. And it ain't Jerry. Jerry's just stepping back. He's 81 years old, but he still has all the titles and stuff. But he ain't in there rolling up his sleeves doing the nuts and bolts stuff. It's Steven Jones doing this stuff.
Well, he's using his dad eyes instead of his businessman eyes. Okay, so that is Jerry's fault for not being objective about the crap job your son has done, and not teaching son how to be a badass.
Well, that's you said it earlier. Steven Jones pinned his dad up against the wall one time.
He did.
That I trust me.
I think he did it again, and this time he finished.
And he gets
job.
some of that fire back.
He left with dad's cojones the last time.
Well, they've got a general manager in place, and they've got a personnel director. Sorry, I'm not going to put you guys in this. I respect I respect Will McClay. I really,
I do too.
I do too. And I think that I think there's some things that maybe Will would want to do differently, but he understands what they're up against. Yeah. But he does not want change. None of those guys want change. because change means they have to do things completely differently from what they've done before, which they've had success doing. Drafting, they draft really, really well. They occasionally sign a free agent that is, is kind of under the radar kind of guy that works out. They don't play the game that we used to play in the early 2000s, effing up this team. Signing guys, not working out, drafting poorly.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jerry still is capable of doing that if you put him in charge.
I gotta clap it up, man. Just shout out to Brian Brothers. What's your thoughts on that, man?
So that was from last night, man, and I think that Brian Broadus he jumped from the top rope on that one, and I said last night I'm looking at this team that those two guys compete against each other. Jerry Jones got two to three shows a week. Stephen Jones got 2 to 3 shows a week, and they compete against each other, and it's a power struggle. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and some of the spillover do hit. It do hit. Even my guy Jay Tuck, he tweeted this out: "All culture has been robbed from us. No chanting, no fight song, can't tailgate." No throwback uniforms, no identity, no toughness. We are just the biggest, most loyal fan base, and our organization take our loyalty for granted. And the reason why Jay Tuck is speaking so passionately about this is because of the fact that he's a season ticket holder. He goes to the games. He goes to the big tailgate stuff that Dez Bryant and Bebe do. And he does all of those things. But when he goes to other games, the away games, he's seeing that these people, man, they real tailgating, man. You pull up a doggone barbecue truck and you pull up some TVs, some portable TVs, and get some cold ones. You just put those in between your legs and you talk noise and you play some dominoes, man. And you talk and you start side betting stuff, man. I can chug. You think I passed out 4 or 5 weeks ago in this chair? People be passed out, laid out like Family Guy at the tailgate and wake up and say, hey, who won? That type of energy, man. Hey, you don't have that type of football atmosphere before the game. So everybody eating wine, cheese, a little crackers here. That stuff don't really rile people up. And that's even from our fan base. So when you go into the games, it's like, or poetry night, that people, Yeah. Cowboy fans tailgate be artificial. You know what I'm saying? Well, you want the real tailgate stuff. Ain't that right, fam? I feel you, man. So, like we can go to a college game. You want one of those type of atmospheres, man, to be there. And you want to be able to make that contagious. And then you want that energy, that vibrational frequency spill over onto the field, right? You want those things, man. A Revelations journalist says Todd France will not let Dak Prescott play for Stephen Jones without a guaranteed contract. Yeah. Cowboys are behind times. It's from burner account the third. Yeah, here's my thing, is that just to be 1,000 with you, it's super nice. The stadium, the ground, the upkeep is super nice. And have you ever seen someone purchase a car and then you sit there, they got a little money, right? They purchase the car and they don't even drive it. They just pull it in the driveway and they drive it probably once or twice a year or once or twice every 3 or 4 months. But you going to say, when you going to stretch that thing out, man? When you going to stretch that car out, man? Get on 35 or something, man, and just stretch it out a little bit. Get on the tollway, man. George Bush, man, on the good side where they completed it at with all of those constructions. When you gonna stretch it out a little bit, right? Get them a bike, When you gonna stretch that bike out, man? When you gonna at least take a trip from here to Mississippi and turn back around or something, man? When you gonna do that, And some people just got the fear that they don't want to do it because they paid so much money for it and they don't want to put no scratches on it. But you have somebody with a lower car, you know what I'm saying, enjoying themselves. They You know, they going places, they driving, they doing all of the reckless stuff that you would like to think that you would do, but they have no fear. Sometimes fear will ball you up, man, and put you in a corner. And those who are reckless a little bit, they having fun. Right? Some fellas know about it. They reckless just a little bit. They may have 4 or 5 kids, but they had fun with it, right? And the one person, they only had like one child, never had the fun. Never experienced multiples, options. Sometimes you got to be risky a little bit, right? Come on, ain't it right? Shout out to you, Ray. Ray, what's good with you, man? Yeah, shout out to you, Gina. Gina know what I'm talking about. Got to be a little fun, ain't it right, Gina? Got to have a little fun. Tailgates are too soft. Yes, indeed. We need to have some fun. So the Cowboys at times, just too conservative. Oops, that's Stephen Jones on. Maybe it is all Stephen Jones. What are you saying? Not the good side. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Jerry Jones, do this for us, man. Instead of having Dolly Parton there, bring in, let's say, one of the other Texas girls or something, Dip, dive, and duck a little bit. I had a guy who sent me this, and he said this is the Dallas Cowboys wish list for him, for them to just entertain. He gave me 20 guys, and I appreciate it. I love when people send me stuff, man, and y'all can send me stuff too at lawsnations@gmail.com or go to lawnationsports.com, and there's a comment section there. You can send me stuff there, or you can send me stuff via Instagram and the X app. But he sent me this. He got Levante David. I like Levante David. He's 33. He's a long tooth. Bring him in. Let's see what you can do in this particular offseason. Micah Hyde, bring him in. I think that he's a good free safety that can go hook the sideline. He's pretty good in that nature. Hold tight for me. Hello? Yeah. Just making sure. Jordan Hicks is a guy. I can't stand him though. That dude that used to be the dude that played for the Eagles, right? Can't stand him. Mike Edwards. He got Winfield. I like him. Jordan Brooks. Shahir. He's pretty good. Cedric Wilson. Bring him back for a cup of coffee. I'll do a switch up, man. Give me Cedric Wilson, and then I'll send Gallup to Miami. I'll tell Gallup, man, the weather is nice there. You got the Miami Beach, man. It's nice. It's beautiful, man. You got all of the water sites over there, man. It's nice, man. Go to Miami, man. You may have some this and that, but, hey, go to Miami. Curtis Samuel. I would love for a cup of coffee. Bring him in for a cup of coffee. Linville Joseph, that's a long tooth. That's a no for me. Yannick Ngagwe, maybe no. I don't know. Yannick may want too much money, and he's terrible against the run. Justin Houston, he's a long tooth. Derrick Henry, that's good for me. I'll take a look at him. Foreman, I'll take a look at him. Gibson, I'll take a look at Gibson. Zach Moss, I'll take a look at him. DeAndre Swift, I'll take a look at Swift. A.J. Dillon, I'll take a look at him. He got on this list. You guys can't see it. But on the back end of this list, ladies and gentlemen, let me see if I can do it like this. He got A.J. Dillon, Ezekiel Elliott, and Kareem Hunt. This is his wish list for his top 20 visits. I would take a look at majority of those guys and at least run them through our cycle to see whether or not they got something in reserve for a shot. Willie T says, man, we like our guys. But my guy, Sanjay, says, Law, the first signed, if this organization is serious, and I know you did your homework. Let me see what you said. Will be a free agent move before the draft. Bingo. Yeah. Let me play this button right here. Where my button at? Yeah. If there are not significant signings, then time to blast the purge horn. I got you. Hold tight. Mike McCarthy and Dak are dead men walking. Yeah. We got to move this way. There's the opening of free agency, which price tags are a little high, right? And then I believe, let me know if I'm wrong, Sanjay. And then there's the second week of free agency and third week of free agency. And then there's the draft, right? No. I think it's the first week of free agency, second week of free agency, and then the draft. And then after the draft, ladies and gentlemen, there will be that period whereas teams say, oh, we got X, Y, Z player. We no longer need this veteran guy. Then there's a releasing of a few veteran players, and there's releases of some surprise cuts or what have you to get down to a certain number. And then there's that final wave of free agency. What my guy Sanjay is saying is you will know the heart of the Cowboys on whether or not they dance on the first week. Now, here's my thoughts. I'm not a big on the first week of free agency because I do agree with some of the principles that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and Will McClay or whoever it may be in that room or in that space of player evaluation. Sometimes the price tag may just be too high. It may just be too high. But I do agree with hey, we'll wait it out just a little bit. And when those price tags goes down, because every week those price tags goes down when they on the open market and no one playing around with them, then what the Cowboys should do is in the second week of the free agency, play around. Pick up the phone. Don't be cocky and say, well, I'm not going to pick up the phone and call nobody. No, get your butt on that phone. Call someone. Let them know that this is what this is what we're looking for. And the other piece of acquisition, and just right, Sanjay, because a lot of people think that free agency is the only acquisition. No. You're going to have to work. Pick up the phone and say, hey, Stephon Diggs, man, I'm seeing that you're having a little problem over there in Bills country and Bills Mafia. But we will give you, let's say, a Sam Williams, Michael Gallup, and a third-round draft pick for Stephon Diggs, and we'll take on, if we want y'all to take on a piece of the contract, we'll take on a piece of the contract. Is that doable? We already got too many doggone edge rushers anyway. Or who else you can trade bait and ship over there, you know? And then this is how a trade works, too. You can't just throw in, I give you, let's say, a Neville Gallimore for Stephon Diggs. No, it don't work that way. Come on. It got to be two to dance, right? You got to be some type of offer on one end that can solidify the offer on the other end. You got to be willing to do that, Jerry Jones and the staff company of the Jones family. Jordan Lewis is a free agent, I believe. Yeah. Ooh, Thomas. Ooh, you crazy. He said Diggs is washed with the ED at the end. Which Diggs, Thomas, man? Are you talking about Quandary Diggs? Come on, man. Which Diggs you talking about? Throw Steele in there, Law. Hey, Gallup going to be a tough sell. Verdi, this is where I'm going with Gallup, man. And we all love Gallup, man. Shout out to Gallup, man. We don't talk about Michael Gallup. Shout out to Gallup. But we can sell this with Gallup, man. You seen the playoff, man. He outperformed the number one receiver in the playoff, man. Gallup got some trade. He got some trade bait, man. Look what he could do in the playoffs, man. And then what I'm doing is I'm showing them, I'm removing the 49ers playoff game from last season, and I'm showcasing his Buccaneers tape, and I'm showcasing his Green Bay tape, and I'm sitting there like, hey, with the proper opportunities and chances, man, this is what he can do. Yeah, man, shoot. You can start working some stuff. Oh, come on, Tommy. He's talking about Stephon Diggs, man. Not typo. You mean Quandary Diggs. Shout out to you, Gina. Thank you for jumping back. He choked in clutch moments at the end of the playoff game. Nick will do it. Yeah, I feel you, fam. Gallup is a hands down the best wide receiver in NFL. Got to upsell him. Yeah, you got to, man. Got to. But the Cowboys can't be in big fear of all of this. They got to be willing to do those things. Because what's going to happen, they was in fear when this happened. And I know, I'm not crying over spilled milk. Shout out to Roquan. I wish him the best in all that he do. But the year before last, I think they gave up a third-round draft pick, a third and a fourth or something like that to get him. And the Cowboys were in fear of being great, of the salary cap. Did y'all see that the salary cap jumped up 40 to 50, close to $70 million? You got to be willing. First 6 seasons, Roquan is on Ray Lewis levels. On Ray Lewis type of levels, man. It sickens us, man, when we see these type of things happening. And I'm not saying that, if we would have had Roquan, we'll be still playing this week. We'll be still in the playoffs. But, man, I don't think our defense will be that bad like it was a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And I wanted to show this out here just to pour a little alcohol down the wound just a little bit. Disinfect some of the bad stuff. Either get a big-time free agency in the first week or get several players in the second week. If I hear we like our guys, I'm out until 2030. I feel you, Sanjay. But unfortunately, they like their guys, unfortunately. Dallas need to do a Herschel Walker move like Jimmy and Jerry trade off Parsons for the number 1 pick. Yeah, they do. All right. Cowboy Nation. It is 2:21, and normally I open up the phone lines or what have you, but I absolutely got to split. It's Wednesday. Look for more and more content to happen throughout the day. Look for more and more things to happen throughout this week. But I just wanted to tell you guys about those few things. Be sure, I thank all of you guys for checking out the video earlier this morning, especially centering around who should stay or who should go. I think that segment was nice. I think we should do more of those segments. There should be more and more content that's happening throughout the day today. And let's go, Cowboy Nation. I really appreciate y'all, man, so much. Let's continue to figure out ways. Shout out to those who support the nation. I figured that, today, unfortunately, not like Billy would say, man, Law, you gonna go 3-4 hours? No, I couldn't go 3-4 hours today, Billy. But I gave you guys an unbelievable time, and I wanted to share this with you guys. Let's continue to grind. Let's continue to figure out ways. Guys, continue on all of my posts. Leave me a player to take a look at. I may not respond immediately, but, man, it's impossible for me to know every single player in this draft. But by the time, the draft kick off, by the time y'all hear this sweet music, because this is the best music of all time. Oh, my God, man. Ooh, don't that music do... Let me hit it one more time. Woo! Don't that music do that to you, man? That sweet music, man. And by the time that music be officially played, we would know. We would know where this team is kind of at, sort of at, quasi at, right? And we would do our evaluation from there. But these are my wants. I want a linebacker. I want a defensive tackle or interior guy, not necessarily an edge guy, but I want an interior guy. I want a linebacker that's on defense. Free agency-wise, give me a DB, give me a safety to bring in or what have you, but not necessarily a safety. I think we're good in that department, by the way. Far as the offense, I want a running back that we can use as a downhill runner who's a hard runner that can get upfield, and that we can pair up with another runner that's on our team. That's what I want. As far as offensive line, center is what I'm looking at. I think we got a good pick out of TJ Bass. I think Awesome Richards is nice. I think that Tyler Smith is nice too. First team All-Pro or second team All-Pro, one of those things. Pro Bowler. Well, he made the Pro Bowl. He made All-Pro. So those are the things that I want. We don't need no tight end unless that kid from Atlanta say, you know what, he want to come to Dallas or something like that. We don't need no tight end. Far as wide receivers, we got enough of them already, unless it's a veteran wide receiver who want to come over here and say, hey, I'll play for peanuts or something like that. Then that's it. But y'all put me down, or y'all put down the player that you guys would love to see over here in Cowboys land as well. Cowboy Nation, man, let's get on up out of here. One way or another, baby. Appreciate y'all. One love. DC for life. Let's get it. The name is Law Nation. Trey Benson, baby. Let's get him. I love that. Don't be scared. Thank everybody, man, for being part of these type of episodes. Be sure to hit the like, share this content. Shout out to your subscription team. Appreciate you. Members, William, thank you. JD from DC, thank you. William Hauser, appreciate you. Samson, Zach, Kelly, Sanjay. Yep. Come on. Ain't no party like a Law Nation party. Come on. But what about a Cowboys draft party? Come on. Yeah. I want a defensive tackle, Morgan. Morgan said, Law, you said you want a defensive tackle. Why did Dan Quinn make Mozzie lose weight? I don't know, man. I don't even know. Dolphins parted ways with Vic Fangio. Come on, Fangio. Since he want to talk about blueprints, come on, let's bring Fangio over for a cup of coffee. Come on.